Rob mentioned Cyber Essentials there, and it just struck me that I've got two very different ends of the spectrum in front of me here. I've got Emma and Cyber Essentials and governance and compliance, and then I've got Rob, who's kind of looking at detection, response, and recovery. And it's, for me, it's getting the right balance as well across all of those things. Now, you mentioned that you've grown rapidly, and you're thinking about this technology challenge, and you're thinking about how to resolve that and continue to grow. How does an organisation that's relatively small and then going through these growth periods, how do you think that those organisations should consider their investment in security?
Well, so often the first step is to just do Cyber Essentials, and often companies are not able to do that to start with. But what we say is just read the questions, because the problem with doing a risk-based exercise is many organizations don't understand what the risks are. So you can't really understand your risks until you understand, where the threats are coming from. So the first step is to just read the questions on Cyber Essentials, because they're very, very specific. They're not risk-based. It's just do this, do this, do this. And those have been identified as the most important technical controls to have in place to defend yourself against common threats. After that, a lot of organizations, actually, they go through Cyber Essentials because they have to. They've been told they have to because of bidding for a tender. And we get an amazing amount of feedback saying, we didn't want to do it, but we're so glad we did. And a lot of organizations then go on to take further steps. And of course, the next steps are to try and understand what the threats are, what the risks are, and to move on to more risk-based, holistic security systems. Have a security plan, understand your risks, have a business continuity plan. And it's at that stage that I think you start thinking about, what will happen if there is an event or a breach. And then you start thinking along the lines of the things that Rob does. And, you need to be there, but companies find it difficult to go there straight away. Something that we found really helps organizations is just going through that free incident in a box exercise that's free, that you can get to on the NCSC website, because until you actually practiced an incident, you don't realize the kind of things that happen and what you will need to put in place. So as a company, we practice at least one incident a year, and it's always a bit of a wake-up call. Most of the stuff's in place, but there's always one thing that you would have needed that maybe isn't in the right place, and so it's worth doing regularly.
Definitely. For those organizations who are just starting out on their journey, it's really important to make sure that they have the appropriate levels of security from the time that they start and with them as they grow. So what advice would you give other CEOs to ensure that they manage that growth period and the risk associated with that appropriately?
Well, to start with, they need to start with Cyber Essentials immediately. And that, it's relatively simple, and the smaller of a company you are, the easier it is to achieve. So it's a good place to start. There's the self-assessment, and then you move on to Cyber Essentials Plus when you get someone to actually check your systems. After that, companies find it useful to move on to IASME governance. So IASME governance maps to the 10 steps to cybersecurity that the government came up with, and it includes all the other stuff that you would expect a small company to have. So this includes an understanding of risk, security plans, practicing incidences, physical security, all those other things. But IASME governance is written to be achievable for small companies. So that would probably be the next step. And after that, you would look at more of the technology options and how to put technology in place to help you, and probably go and talk to an organization such as the one that Rob runs.
Take time to achieve. It's not a silver bullet thing. Cyber, you can't solve it overnight, but you can progressively build your organization to something that's very, very secure and very easy to defend in the cyber security space.
Brilliant. Okay, Rob, Emma, unfortunately we're out of time. We may be taking some questions and answers after this session. If you want to talk to us about any of this, please get in contact. But in the meantime, thank you very much, Rob. Thank you, Emma, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.